鹏展翅，升腾万里，力算未来。
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, good morning. Welcome to Huawei Connect 2019. Yesterday, Mr. Ken Hu articulated Huawei's computing strategy. Today, I will continue with the talk. I will share with you our thoughts in computing industry and the plans we have. This picture behind me is the top of the 5 famous mountains in China, Taishan. You can see the rising sun and the Kunpeng spreading its wings. It is our expectation that Huawei's computing industry can be like Kunpeng, spreading wings, flying up in the sky. On so many levels, computing has accelerated humankind's knowledge of the world. For example, to complete the genome sequencing, it took 12 years in 2003, but now it only takes 1 day. The reason behind it is because the computing power is 1,000 times faster. 20 years ago, we were only able to forecast the weather 1 day in advance. But now we can have a pretty good, accurate weather forecast for 7 days. It's because the computing power has improved 20,000 times. Another example is that human's naked eye can observe the galaxy 2.2 million light years away from us. But now, China's FAST, the telescope, is able to observe the outer space as far as 13.7 billion light years away. Currently, the entire computing industry is undergoing profound changes, and we believe there are 4 trends. The first trend is the change from data center to computing center. Now, in the hyperscale data centers, the cost of servers continue to go up. For example, if you look at Huawei Cloud DC, after our optimization, you can see that the costs incurred by servers now make up 60% of the total cost of the DC. It means that computing is now becoming the major pillar of the DCs. At the same time, we see annual growth of AI computing demand as it's growing 10 times every year. It is expected that by 2025, AI computing will make up 80% of the DC computing power. In order to fully tap the potential of data, I think that we have to switch gear. In the past, it was all about storing the data, but in the future, we think that computing plays a more important role. That is why we think that the trend is the data centers are changing to computer centers. The second trend is device and edge are driving innovations in the computing architecture. In 2018, 23 billion ARM chips were shipped around the world, and mostly used for device and edge. Also in the same year, general-purpose CPUs were shipped less than 30 million units. It's a difference of hundreds times. It is forecasted that in 2019, the total computing power of smartphones shipped by Huawei will be twice as big as the additional computing power in global DCs of the same year. It is an indication that edge and device computing power will drive the development of the entire computing industry, which in a way will drive innovation in the central computing architecture. At the same time, Because of the high bandwidth and low latency of 5G, more applications on the mobile end will be on the cloud. For example, mobile games, VR, and rendering will be on the cloud, and interaction will happen on the device. At present, there are over 5 million applications on smartphones. However, data centers primarily based on x86 servers. In order to migrate the smartphone applications to which is ARM-based to the cloud, and if the architecture is different, you will have a loss of performance of 40%. This is not just an hindrance to the user experience, it's going to add to your cost of migration. However, if your device end and cloud end architecture is homogeneous, you can address the problem from the very beginning. The third trend is greener computing. Yesterday, we launched the Atlas 900 cluster, whose computing power reaches 256 petaflops. According to our calculation, if you use general-purpose CPU for the same task, it will need 6,195 cabinets. If you use a GPU for the task, it would need 208 cabinets. If you use NPU, for example, Ascend, you will need 128 cabinets. This is all attributed to the optimization because of the use of a deep learning technology in Ascend architecture. But ultimately, we managed to use 16 cabinets only. It's not just the chip-level optimization. We also have system-level optimization. For example, the board-grade liquid cooling and enclosed heat dissipation, heat isolation. Power consumptions reduced from 40,000 kilowatts to 736 kilowatts. We think that computing is going to be greener and greener, which is crucial. The fourth trend is computing architecture will continue to see more innovation. In the past 5 years, general-purpose CPU has met a lot of bottlenecks because performance per core has improved less than 10%. You can see that it's approaching the ceiling of Moore's law. Now we are running a race, and we're almost at the ceiling now. We have to break the different walls: efficiency wall, thermal wall, optimization wall, memory wall, and high-speed I/O wall, in order to get to the next level so that we can tap the potential of computing. That is why we believe the computing industry has entered into the golden era of architectural innovation. In order to meet the computing demand, which is growing rapidly, computing industry needs to move forward accordingly. Abundant, high-performance, diversified, and greener computing power would be the major drivers for the development of an intelligent world. Huawei always stays customer-centric, so the customer's requirements drive Huawei to continue to innovate in computing architecture and engineering technologies. Our pursuit is to provide computing power for ubiquitous cloud and pervasive intelligence. In order to realize our pursuit, we are dedicated to building one cloud and two engines. These are the major pillars behind the open ecosystem, and it is best illustrated by the plane in the picture. We've got two engines, which are Kunpeng and Ascend, and we have chipsets. And this supports heterogeneous computing architecture. Intelligent computing and intelligent data storage are the two wings. Cloud, edge, device coordination is going to deliver diversify computing power with a combination of Kunpeng plus Ascend plus x86 plus GPU. In terms of intelligent data and storage, we have integrated solutions of storage, big data, database, artificial intelligence. Looking at the whole life cycle of data, we would like to make sure that cost per bit is minimal. We would like to tap the maximum potential of data per bit. The One Cloud refers to Huawei Cloud Services. We are dedicated to full stack innovation, and we provide hybrid cloud services. We become the black soil for the ecosystem partners by providing affordable computing power. Open ecosystem refers to our approach to open hardware and open source software that enables partners. We want this to be a healthy and robust industry ecosystem. So this is our overall One Cloud, Two Wings, Two Engines plus ecosystem strategy. As you know, processors are the foundation of the entire computing industry. You will only have computing power when you have the processors. Huawei started its investments in embedded processors in 2004. It's been 15 years. Up to now, we have already established our fundamental chipset families centered on Kunpeng and Ascend. Kunpeng includes server and PC chips. Kunpeng 920 is the industry's first 64-core DC processor. Its performance is 25% higher than the industry's mainstream processor. Its memory bandwidth is 60% higher than the industry mainstream counterpart. At the same time, we've got a 4-in-1 SoC with CPU, bridge chip, NIC, and SSD. It is the most integrated DC processor in the world. Ascend has included training and inference chipsets. Ascend 910 is used for training. You know, Atlas 900 cluster has used Ascend 910. Its half precision has reached FP16, which is twice as high as the industry. Ascend 310, used for inference, is a integer precision has reached 16 TOPS with a power consumption of 8 watts, while the industry average is 10 watts. In addition to that, our SSD chips have its unique wear leveling algorithms. It has extended the life of our SSD drive by 20%. This is far leading the industry. Our intelligent NIC chips can support offloading of the processing of various protocols such as OVS, VXLAN, and RoCE. This is especially suitable for cloud and low latency scenarios. We've also got intelligent management chips, which can support intelligent fault management and power management. This is the foundation of automation in hyperscale data centers.
In the current computing architecture, Huawei is the only one that has all the key chipsets, including CPU, NPU, intelligent storage controller, and network interconnect, as well as intelligent management. We hope that through innovation of the whole portfolio, we are able to drive the computing sector forward, so we can enjoy another golden era of the computing sector. For our chipsets, when we have one generation in mass production, we're researching and developing the next generation and planning for the next generation. Since 2007, when we first invested in Kunpeng, it has been 12 years. Kunpeng 920 is the third generation chipsets. Kunpeng plus Ascend series will continue to evolve in the long term. We plan to launch one generation every year to continuously enhance competitiveness and also ensure backward compatibility. We hope that Through this arrangement, we're able to drive the computing sector forward. This slide is about Huawei's positioning of the computing sector. Our strategy is to open hardware, open source software, and enable partners, and promote the computing industry. Huawei will focus on innovating in computing architecture, researching and developing processors, and also providing cloud services. Using Huawei's hardware capabilities, we will be able to offer boards, SSD, NIC, RAID card, Atlas modules, and cards to support partners to develop servers and PCs of their own brands. Our Taishan servers target the high-end market. We also provide some components for Huawei's products. When conditions are right, that means when the partners are ready, Huawei may stop selling Taishan servers as a standalone business. Huawei wants to make OS, database, and AI computing framework available through open source so as to enable partners to develop their own products. We also want to provide a development framework for developers that covers all the scenarios, including edge, device, and the cloud. Huawei does not develop applications ourselves, but we support applications and software to be migrated to our platform. Here is the ecosystem of the IT industry. We estimate that by 2023, in the whole world, this sector will have a market space of around $2 trillion US, and in China it will be over 1.1 trillion RMB. Kunpeng and Ascend are like the roots of a tree. Only when the roots are deep, the leaves will grow. Huawei will continue to invest in Kunpeng and Ascend R&D. We also hope to work with partners in the whole value chain to grow the IT industry and share the dividends of the digital world. I want to stop for a while and give the floor to my colleague, Mr. Ma Haixu.
Huawei's insights on the computing industry and Huawei strategy. 感谢侯金龙先生关于华为对计算产业新思考和战略部署的精彩分享。Now please welcome President of Huawei Intelligent Computing Business Development, Mr. Michael Ma, for his presentation, Innovating for the Ultimate Computing Power. 下面有请华为智能计算业务部总裁马海旭先生带来演讲，以创新为世界提供最强算力。
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This morning, we'll witness some very important announcements. I'm very glad to be on behalf of Huawei's computing department to announce a series of computing products. The computing sector is embracing another golden era. In the general purpose computing domain and AI computing domain, we have made strategic investments continuously to provide the ultimate computing power to the world. We know that steam power powered the first industrial revolution, achieving the transition from agricultural civilization to industrial civilization, and electricity powered the second industrial revolution, which significantly enhanced the production efficiency, and human society entered into the electrification era. And the third industrial revolution represented by computers and information technology, as well as the fourth one represented by AI. Computing power is becoming more and more important. In the future, we will enter into an intelligent world. AI will be pervasive. Autonomous driving will be adopted by tens of thousands of households. Smart robots and smart home will fundamentally change the way people live and work. Behind all of these intelligent applications, we need powerful computing. Computing power is the pivotal driver of the intelligent world. Our aspiration is to provide the ultimate computing power and solve world-class problems and become a key force to drive the progress of the intelligent world. An intelligent world needs products with ultimate computing power. So what does such products look like? In the general purpose computing domain, we believe such a product should have three characteristics. First, multi-core high concurrency. Therefore, for a single processor, 64 core is a basic configuration. And second, real-time data, big data analytics, and distributed databases need to exchange massive data with memories. Therefore, 8-channel memory is a must. And third, the collaboration between CPU and accelerator requires high bandwidth and low latency I/O. It is an imperative to upgrade bus capability to PCIe 4.0. But this is not sufficient to meet all the requirements. The current computing architecture is evolving from a centralized one to a distributed one. If we only have a powerful CPU, it is not sufficient. We believe the servers need to have an in-one SoC, XPU high-speed interconnection, so that we can have powerful computing from CPU to servers and achieve ultimate computing power of clusters with 100G high-speed I/O. And next, I'd like to explain more details to you. We often say that whether a car can drive fast or not, it depends on the engine. For a product with ultimate computing power, must have a powerful processor. Kunpeng processor integrated 64 physical cores. According to SpecInt assessment, it got 930 points, up by 25% in terms of performance compared with the other products in the industry. Kunpeng processors also have adopted an in-one SoC chip architecture. It's not just a CPU. It has integrated ROCE and SAS controller chipsets and bridge chipsets. A single processor has integrated 4 chipsets, so 1 for 4. It is more dense and also has lower power consumption. Huawei developed our own cache coherency bus HCCS. It can achieve high-speed CPU connection. The communication data rate can reach 30 GT. And also through CPU interconnection, we have achieved 256 physical cores NUMA architecture, and we are able to provide a full circuit server which is ARM compatible. CPU and NPU's interconnection is also very critical. Huawei has applied HCCS for interconnection between CPU and NPU. Therefore, we use cache consistency bus for XPU. XPUs can access each other directly. Based upon this architecture, we can have a flexible combination of general-purpose computing and AI computing. Therefore, we are able to provide a heterogeneous computing server with the most powerful computing capability. Current processors usually use external NIC to provide 10GE and 25GE interfaces for servers. Under a distributed architecture, we need in order to have a high-performing cluster, we need to have a high I/O throughput. Kunpeng server is the first one in the industry to have a general-purpose processor that embedded with 100G network capability. So from processor to servers, to the cabinet and computing cluster, we've achieved 100G high-speed network connection. Servers have entered into the 100G era. Just now, I defined products with ultimate computing power. It needs to have NE1 SoC, XPU high-speed interconnection, and 100G high-speed I/O. So some of you may be wondering, is there such a product that meets all these requirements? The answer is Huawei's Taishan server. Huawei's Taishan server series cater to big data, distributed storage, database, HPC, ARM native applications, etc. It is compatible with ARM architecture. Huawei offers storage-intensive, computing-intensive, edge computing, and some other models of server products. So data center and edge, as well as other scenarios, can be addressed. Today, I'd like to announce a very, very important product of the computing sector. Please enjoy the video. I want to announce the official launch of Kunpeng board, and it is accessible to our partners. Kunpeng board carries the dream of many colleagues in the computing sector. This board carries 2 Kunpeng processors. It has 128 physical cores. It is embedded with 100G Rocky NIC. It has 32 memory slots. It also supports PCIe 4.0. Partners can use this Kunpeng board to develop computing products of different formats. Thank you. Thank my colleague. Huawei has over 30 years R&D and manufacturing experience regarding hardware. We have shipped over 1 billion pieces of board. Kunpeng board has a 56G high-speed SerDes capability. The performance is up by 25%, and BR is less than 10 to the power minus 12. The fault rate is 15% lower than industry average. By using dynamic energy management technology, the energy efficiency ratio is also 15% higher than the industry average. Partners can develop products based upon Kunpeng board, and you can enjoy high performance, high reliability, and a high efficiency ratio to fully tap the potential of the equipment. If we work together, we can achieve more. Huawei will support our partners to develop more products with ultimate computing power and offer more and better choices for the customers. Kunpeng board, embedded BMC chip, and BIOS software. We will provide a board interface spec and equipment management spec in order to enhance the equipment efficiency and quality. Huawei will also make our hardware engineering capability accessible to our partners and provide design guidelines to our partners. In addition, we also provide a compatibility list of memory, hardware, NIC, OS, etc. Our partners can refer to the design guideline and use Kunpeng board to quickly develop your own servers and desktop products. And now I want to invite our partner to give a presentation. Please welcome the COO of Tongfang company, Mr. Li Jianhang. He'd like to share with us about how to create high-quality computing product.
COO of Tongfang Company Limited, to share his views on collaborating with Huawei, building Kunpeng-powered products for a digital future. 有请同方股份有限公司首席运营官李建航先生带来分享，共筑高品质产品，共赢信息化未来。
好，各位来宾。
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great honor to be at Huawei Connect 2019. I'm from Tsinghua Tongfang. My name is Li Jianhang. I'm in charge of the operation of the company, while at the same time I'm the general manager of Tongfang PC business. Tongfang was initiated by Tsinghua University and is a high-tech company established in 1997. It's been 22 years of business. Our major business is IT, environmental protection, and such. The PC business has always been one of the mainstream business of the company. Since the very beginning, we have made strategic deployments for our PC business. Now we're embracing the new world. Kunpeng processors and Kunpeng server boards have just been launched by Mr. Ma Haixu. With this, we have new technologies to build into our products and solutions. We think that we can all look forward to it. We've got 22 years of experience in the computer business, and we have laid down a very solid foundation, especially in our in-house R&D. We've got really strong R&D competence, while at the same time, we've got strategic presence, including manufacturing, services, and after-sales and marketing. We have strong capabilities across the value chain. Now let's have a look at some of our numbers. Tongfang Computer is now the second largest integrated equipment provider in China. We're also providing servers, but not our major business. But anyways, we are the second largest integrated computer equipment provider in China. We've got over 1,000 R&D engineers that can guarantee in-house development for the whole lineup of PC products. We have 30 different categories of computer products in our portfolio. It can cover different segments from individual consumers to enterprise customers such as government, education, healthcare, and financial institutions, you name it. We have production base across China in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Guangdong, and north and eastern parts of China. In total, we have over 10 million units of manufacturing capacity across China. At the same time, we're very proud of our service teams. We've got over 3,000 service engineers across the country, and that has established our strong position in the China market. Huawei is a global leading tech company. As we know, Huawei has been dedicated to the communications industry, but in recent years, Huawei has given great attention to the IT new tech development, and Tongfang has followed up. Since the beginning of this year, Tongfang has engaged with Huawei and we have access to Kunpeng processors and boards and prototypes. And together, we have tested the solutions and research and develop the integrated solutions together. From the test results, we think that it's pretty satisfying. The design of the board and the layout of the board is pretty reliable and stable because Huawei offers a server board solution, so it's got good compatibility with softwares, including BIOS. From this angle, Huawei's components are very mature because we can readily integrate it in our solutions. Huawei's components, i.e. the server boards, is a pretty good base. It's very easy for us to integrate it in our solution. We can efficiently deliver the ultimate integrated equipment to our end users. As I was saying, we've got 22 years of experience in the computers industry. We are very strong in the design of integrated computer. To work with Huawei's Kunpeng server boards, Tongfang has come up with a special design for high-end premium customers. It is a special cabinet 13-liter specifically for the high-end business customers. It's easy to dismantle and easy to install. We've got a lot of reliability designs like vibration-proof and radiation-proof designs. Mechanically, we've got strong competence, and electronically, we draw from the strengths of Huawei Kunpeng server boards. Because of this, we are able to promote Tongfang desktop computer based on Kunpeng server boards. Here are the defining features of the desktop computers. First one is high performance enabled by Kunpeng server boards. These are the results of our optimization with Huawei. You can have a look at the score of a single core. We have run a Unix bench tests. Single core score reaches 1,491 points. Multi-core reaches 6,049 points. Such performances have caught up with the mainstream CPU performance in the world. In addition to that, it is ultra reliable because we have added to it TCM, the crypto technology and chip, so that it's able to guarantee information security. It's also equipped with reliability design, as I have talked about, fall-proof, radiation-proof, and vibration-proof. Ultimately, it's able to deliver seamless experience. The desktop computer based on Huawei's Kunpeng server boards is able to play 4K video very smoothly. Tongfang has established great partnerships with Huawei, but it's just the beginning. We have just launched Tongfang desktop computer based on Kunpeng server. We look forward to more in-depth cooperations between the two companies. I look forward to more technological collaboration. Right now, we are carrying out system-level collaboration, but in the future, I look forward to go deeper into the server board level or even deeper in the system. That it has to include a customization where we can contribute value. We have a great competence and capacity in our company, so we are dedicated to defining more categories of products, not just limited to desktop computers, but also we have great potential in developing PCs, tablets, and other form factors of consumer devices. We look forward to closer cooperation with Huawei. While at the same time, we stay close to the customer's requirements. Kunpeng server board-based Tongfang computers will deliver better user experience. And I think that there is room for us to work with each other in developing the right sets of applications and software. For example, we can embed AI capabilities to have retina, fingerprint, bioprint recognition, so that we see great untapped potential of Tongfang computers, so that will shorten the gap with global mainstream computers. We are dedicated to delivering better computers and services to the consumers. We would like to work with Huawei and contribute our fair share to the Kunpeng ecosystem and also to the IT and industry development of the country at large. Last but not the least, I wish Huawei's Kunpeng system better and better, and also wish Huawei have a greater future.
Significance to the new computing era. 感谢李建航先生对鲲鹏之于计算新时代非凡意义的精彩解读。Now please welcome Mr. Michael Ma to continue his introduction of Huawei's innovation in AI computing. 有请马海旭先生继续为我们分享华为在 AI 计算领域的最新进展。
Thank you, Mr. Li Jianhang, for your wonderful sharing. In addition to general-purpose computing, Huawei has made intensive investments in innovative AI computing. So what are the key defining features of the most powerful AI computing? Different from inference, the chips for training is the best testament of AI computing power. Ascend 910 is based on Da Vinci architecture. It's equipped with a 32 3D cube computing engine. One single engine is able to complete 4,096 operations of multiplication and addition, and its computing power reaches 256 teraflops. Its millisecond gradient sync and on-device processing, it can support multi-chip training. Our AI servers have been equipped with 8 Ascend 910, reaching 2 petaflops of computing power. Through scaling out, we can expand it into AI clusters. What we launched yesterday, Atlas 900, is a scalable AI clusters. So it is basically seamless, blockless network technology integrating chip servers and clusters. It can reach 1,024 petaflops. The training time can be shortened from months, weeks to days, and even seconds. On August the 23rd, Huawei launched the industry's most powerful AI training processors called Ascend 910. And today I would like to announce 2 latest products for AI training. They are the powerful Atlas 300 training card and also Atlas 800, the training server. Atlas is the name of the god of strength in Greek mythology. We are borrowing the name Atlas for our AI computing products. It is our expectation that Atlas will become the solutions that provide the most powerful computing capabilities. Next, I will talk more about our 2 new products. This is what Atlas 300 looked like, the industry's most powerful AI training card. Atlas 300 provides 256 teraflops of computing power. It is twice as big as the industry mainstream card. It can train 1,802 images, better than the 965 images per second. It supports 100G Rocky high-speed interface. It can realize parallel transmission of gradient parameters and data transmission. It can reduce the transmission time by 70%, so that training time can be shortened to second level. Atlas 800 is the industry's most powerful AI training server. With 4U, it's equipped with 8-core Ascent 910 AI processors, providing 2 petaflops of computing power. Its computing density is 2.5 times higher than the industry average. It is only 75 kilograms, half as heavy as the industry counterparts. It's got 32 hardware decoders. Every second is able to decode 16,384 images, and these images are 1080p. And that means that it's 25 times stronger than the mainstream products in the market. In addition to that, it's got parallel processing capability. It supports 2 heat dissipation, wind and liquid heat dissipation that satisfies the diverse needs of enterprises, DCs, and clusters, high-dense deployment. Its power efficiency is 1.8 times better than the industry. We fly our own parachutes. That is why we have deployed Atlas 800 in our DCs in Songshan Lake of Dongguan. We have fully deployed fully liquid cooling system, and it can achieve heat dissipation as much as 50,000 watts. Our Atlas 800 has 8 Atlas 800 servers in one cabinet, and that is why it's able to support heat dissipation of 50,000 watts per single cabinet. Yesterday, we also launched Atlas 900, the cluster, and this is viral in our WeChat moments and also in the social media. Atlas 900 is a scalable AI cluster architecture. It's composed of Ascent 910 processors, thousands of Ascent 910 processors. In the ResNet 50 image test, it scored 59.8 seconds, #1 in the world. With the same precision, it's 15% faster than the second runner. Atlas 900 is equipped with super powerful computing power, which can be used for scientific research and business innovation. For example, the cases we shared, Atlas 900 has been used for astronomical exploration and oil exploration. I believe those are very impressive cases. 900 Atlas can be used in many areas in the future. Ascent 910 and Ascent 310 based as AI processors are part of our whole portfolio of Atlas products. It means that we're able to provide strong computing power for training and inference. It supports all scenarios. It is based on Da Vinci architecture, and it supports cloud device and cooperation that can speed up digital transformation of different sectors. This year, we're collaborating with the Southern Grid in innovating the inspection of the equipment. From the screen, you can see our cooperation. You can see the comparison before and after we use Atlas technology in the inspection. What we're told by the customer is that one engineer needs to travel a long distance, and he has traveled through the most difficult mountainous areas, and it is sometimes very dangerous for him to do the inspection of the grid. But now, based on Atlas, it is fully automated inspection so that the customer no longer have to do it manually. They don't have to go through the dangerous mountainous areas anymore. They can have an automated system that can support real-time alerts and accurate reporting. Technology is good. Pass it on. We hope that more and more industries are able to leverage technologies to make the world a better one. Next, I'm handing it over to Mr. Hussein, the CTO of ABB. He's going to share with us the industrial case of Atlas solution.
No one really knows what the future will look like. But one thing we do know is that while some people spend all of their lives imagining what the future will look like, we've dedicated ours to creating it. ABB, on track to the future.
Please welcome Mr. Bazmi R. Hussain, CTO of ABB Group, to share his views on industrial AI, the key to industrial autonomy. 有请 ABB 集团 CTO Bazmi R. Hussain 先生带来分享人工智能赋能工业自主化。
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really exciting to be here. Yesterday, when I was in Hall H2, it was really satisfying to see the interest that the sight of an industrial robot separating garbage has created. China Daily carried it in its news. CCC TV had a video clip on it. So it clearly shows that the interest in both the topic and the solution is really wide. Today, I'm going to be talking about some of the challenges that our industry are facing, introduce industrial autonomy and its relation with AI, and round it up with a few examples. ABB, as my colleague Guido Jouret, who's the Chief Digital Officer for ABB, mentioned yesterday, is a 130-year-old company which makes a lot of things for primarily two industries. Okay, we serve the energy industry, the electrical energy industry, and the industry for process, discrete, and hybrid. Okay. So when we have done that for 130 years, and we've been a technology leader in both these segments. In the energy industry, for example, ABB was the company that invented and introduced high-voltage DC transmissions. In the automation segment, industrial robots were also an innovation that was brought into the market by ABB, and that was way back in 1974. So we have a history of being innovative, also being leaders in that and being ahead of the time. Today, when we see these industries, we see that both these industries, there is major shifts going on. On the energy side, the energy revolution is changing the way how electricity is generated, how it is transported, and how it is going to be consumed. On the industry side, we are going through the fourth industrial revolution. Now, one thing that is clear to us is that for these revolutions to succeed and deliver the value that is expected of them, we have to go beyond automation. Why do we need to do that? Because automation fundamentally has to be told how to react to every situation it encounters. Given the growing complexity that is developing in the industry, we need systems that not only react as they are programmed, but are able to handle situations that are not planned. So the systems that have the capability to deal with unplanned situations in a proper manner. These systems are what we call autonomous systems. We do believe that the cornerstone technology for moving towards autonomous systems is going to be artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, has in the last less than a decade made tremendous progress. It has shown superhuman capability in many areas, such as games. Whether it is a game of Go or StarCraft, I think has clearly beaten the best of human players in that. However, and it is also for industry, there have been a lot of areas where we have been using that quite successfully when it comes to condition monitoring, when it comes to predicting lifetime, so expected lifetime or time to failures. Artificial intelligence has delivered great value to industry. But for AI to really play a key role that it must for industrial autonomy, as it has to learn how to deal with unplanned situations. It has to come from a closed world to reality, as the picture on the screen shows, that you can have several events that you definitely did not plan for or anticipate. So what does it take for AI to move towards industrial AI? And I'd just like to highlight some of the key elements that are needed for industrial AI. First and foremost, I think it's about the algorithms. Today's AI algorithms have explainability issues. That is, you cannot make out why the AI algorithm reached a particular decision. That, combined with the brittleness of AI, makes it very difficult to be used, especially in physical processes, and even more so when the consequence of a wrong action can be either very dangerous or expensive or both. The second aspect is about the data. Now, in industry, since about mid-80s, most of the systems, most of the process plants have got what are called distributed control systems. ABB was one of the pioneers in that. And so there's lots of data that is available. But industrial data is about a variety of different equipment. Okay? If you look at equipment such as a transformer or a robot, there is very little that they have in common, and there are literally tens of thousands of different kinds of equipment in any process plant. So there is a lot of data, but there's a great variety of data. The second aspect about data is that you can have several years' worth of data, okay? And however, it is not unusual to find that you have data from a robot for about 3 years or 4 years of operation, and you see no failure. It is difficult to train AI about a failure when there is no data related to failure. So there is, and even if there is, there are very few. So these are equipment that are designed not to fail. So the unevenness of data. The third aspect about industrial data is that being in normal operation is not a differentiator in industry. Everybody expects that. It is really looking at an outlier. If you have had a golden batch, to find out why you had the golden batch and make that the new normal. That is the challenge that you have to address in industry. For the deployment part as well, it is deployed in very real-time applications, very constrained equipment. So even if you look at the inference times that are there in the chips, they are not adequate for real-time use today. So that also has to change. And then that AI has to be deployed at all levels, at device level, at edge level, and at the cloud level. So deployment everywhere. Let me come back to and say a little bit about this demo that you see of the solution in H2. This has essentially 4 elements. It's got a conveyor belt on which the garbage is coming. You have the vision system, which detects the presence of garbage on the conveyor and sends that information to the intelligence unit. The intelligence unit classifies that object, whether it's metal or plastic, etc. And then there is a robot system which basically picks up the item and puts it in the right bin. And this was done actually as a collaboration together with Huawei, and I'd like to point out a few things. First of all, the entire solution that was developed from ABB side, the entire team is a China-based team. ABB has 17,000 plus people in China, and we have very strong R&D capability here. So this was a solution which was developed here together with Huawei. The entire solution was designed and developed in just a little over 1 month. Okay, so it is really done locally and done with speed. So it's an example of a great cooperation that we had with Huawei on this. Now, let me say what is going to happen next. So let me take an example of a little bit of what can happen in future. And I'm going to take an example of the mining industry. Well, mining industry is very crucial for economies because it's the mining industry that supplies the raw material for progress. But mining is not always safe and productive and efficient as it could be. ABB supplies a lot to the industry for exactly improving their safety and their efficiency and the productivity of the mines. But today, most of the mines that are operated in island mode, as you can see on the graphic on the left. You have where you are doing the extraction, where you are doing the mining. So these are things that are then fed into the processing side. These are all treated as islands. So when we look at a mine of the future, one of the things that we see that will come about, and this will be a confluence of several technologies. The first thing is that you notice is to take humans out of harm's way. That means take humans out of the mines where there is danger. So humans then work in a safe control room that is above ground through use of digital twins, virtual reality, artificial augmented reality. They are able to see and control the process. It is all integrated, so if there's a problem in one segment of the plant, they know how to deal with the following segment. In the operations part, humans are replaced by autonomous equipment. So both for moving the ore, for charging the mine for new blasting areas. This is all done autonomously. And then if you have a problem, then utilizing digital twin and diagnostic capabilities, you are able to actually identify and fix the fault much quicker and much better. So for this to happen, this kind of vision to happen, which takes a lot of technologies that have to be combined together. ABB believes that there is no one company that can do it. This is to be done in partnership, and the message that I want to leave you with is that it is partnerships like Huawei and ABB that will make a bridge to the future of industrial autonomy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hussain, for sharing your views on AI's bright future for industrial autonomy. 感谢 Hussain 先生关于 AI 为工业赋能的精彩分享。Now please welcome Mr. Ho Jinlong to join us again to announce Huawei's software strategy for maximizing computer power. 下面让我们再次有请华为 Cloud 与 AI 产品与服务总裁侯金龙先生解读华为释放最强算力的软件策略。
I want to thank our two presenters for their sharing. Just now, my colleague, Mr. Ma Haishu, shared with you a lot of informative ideas. So I believe we should combine the soft part and the hard part in order to unleash full computing potential. As we know, database and operating system are the two most important links in the system. So processor is like the heart, and then these two are the souls. Since 2010, Huawei has invested in the R&D of server operating system OLA OS. Up to now, in the field of telecommunication, storage, and cloud, we have applied this OLA OS system widely, over 100,000 units. It has two defining innovative features. Number one, triple intelligent scheduling technology. Through kernel, cluster, and die, by which I mean triple intelligent scheduling, it can allocate different processes on the most appropriate kernel so that application can have shortest latency and the broadest bandwidth. We can shorten the multi-process concurrency latency by 60%. Secondly, smart auto-tuning technology. We know the normal system would run slower and slower as time goes by. Through driver, kernel, virtualization, library, which constitute a multiple level of perception and learning, it can conduct automatic optimization, combining over 7,000 system parameters. The system will run faster and faster as time goes by. The web performance has risen by 137% in our NINX test, and it is constantly optimized. Now I announce Huawei Server OS, OLA OS to be open source. The name of this open source version is Open OLA. Huawei supports its partner to announce your commercial version based on Open OLA. We also support different industry sectors, application and software to be migrated to Open OLA OS. I'm also happy to announce to you that we are now cooperating with Deepin, Neo Qilin, Tianjin Qilin, CMsoft Suzhou, CEIC, Yongyou, and other partners to prepare an open source community which will be officially launched by 31st of December this year. Today, it's my great honor to have with me Mr. Zhang Lei, who is the CTO of Deepin Technology, to share with us his idea. Welcome, Mr. Zhang. Good morning, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here to take this opportunity to share with you our efforts in open source OS, as well as our cooperation with Huawei. A brief introduction of myself. My name is Zhang Lei. I'm from Deepin Technology from Wuhan. A brief introduction of the company. Deepin is rooted in Wuhan, and we have open department in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. For open source, we have built the community. For the server OS, we have had very in-depth development and research. For the community version and the professional version, we provide extensive service to our customers. For the Windows OS system, we developed graphical desktop environment and a large number of application software and system security features, providing users with an alternative to the Windows operating system and big data and cloud solutions under multiple processor architecture. Deepin OS is China's first Linux distributed version with international influence. Since 2008, we now have 33 languages with more than 100 mirror sites for Deepin by our supporters in all continents across the world except Atlantica. There are local deep communities in Italy, France, Russia, Brazil, and our deep lovers can discuss and develop in our community. Our desktop environment and our application, we call them the family album of Deepin. They are also ported to more than 10 international Linux distribution community like Fedora, Ubuntu, and Arc. I remembered when I was young, I was told that Chinese people should go beyond our national border and exert our influence across the region and in the world. I'm glad to see that Deepin has achieved that. And we always list top 10 in the Distro Watch. We are rooted in China and we are serving the world. Deepin starts from open source and continues to give back to open source. Our technology community is the most active open source operating system community in China with nearly 100,000 registered users and nearly 1 million posts. Hundreds of patches were submitted to open source software such as Jerome, Qt, and Wine. It implements dozens of open source projects, provides more than 5 million open source lines of codes with more than 80 million operating system downloads. Of course, while we are engaged in the Deepin system based on the open source OS, we are thinking about the future direction and the targets of OS. From this chart, we can see that in different sectors, our influence and the penetration rate are rising. From HPC, that is high performance computer, we have already occupied 100% market share. We have the monopoly position in this sector. For the network server sector, we occupy 40% of the share. And for the smart cell phone sector, represented by Linux-based Android system, we have over 80% market share. Our only weakness point is production terminal or desktop system. We have a relatively weak performance in this area with market share less than 5%. Looking ahead into the future, we believe that in the server sector, we can maintain a stable position and continuously in the upward trend. For big data, AI, and cloud computing, the performance is becoming stabilized, but in the foreseeable future, we believe it is very likely that our market penetration rate of Linux OS will be over 50%. There are several issues, including technical issues, but more importantly, it is about ecology. With China's information industry market development, and also with the advancement of technology, with the emergence of multiple device equipment, with the introduction of interactive technology, we believe that China has the potential to be the dominant power in the next phase of market. It will be a decisive factor in the coming 10 years. Looking back, we started from scratch, from a follower to an innovator, from single architecture to multiple architecture platform. We have accumulated a rich R&D experience. From this chart, we can see that in 2008, we were still learning by copying. But then in 2011, we were able to improve source code and develop plugins in the mainstream desktop environment and also submit patches at the time. And then in 2014, based on WebKit, we developed the WebKit-based desktop environment. And then in 2017, when we found serious issues with the compatibility and performance, we rewrote our system. We rewrote our system based on Qt and Golang in order to improve the performance, compatibility, and user experience. You can see some screenshots of a few moments in the course of our development. In the product designing and in the entire technology stack, we try to improve our usability, compatibility, security, performance, kernel. And we also cover the area of kernel, toolchain, driving, graphic library, and application service framework. This is our next version that we called V20 version. It is our next generation version. We have made some revolutionary changes to it. For example, it can support PC and a tablet at the same time, integrate different devices. It can also provide better security protection, including system and device security. It will be the mainstream of our version. I believe this will be the fully commercialized and consistent user experience, offering ultimate user experience in Linux Terminal OS. We are very lucky that we are deeply rooted in the strong foundation of open source community. We have achieved some tentative results. We feel also very privileged and happy to work with Huawei, such an excellent partner to work together. And we had very close cooperation with Huawei in terms of client OS for cloud platform and server OS for data center and computing center. Based on Kunpeng processor and Taishan server, we work together with Open OLA system team to head the porting, adaptation, and optimization of the deep server operating system. According to the performance benchmark test, with the support of Huawei's Kunpeng processor and the Huawei team, we can see that the performance indicators of many key applications have been significantly improved. For example, the big data software Hadoop and Spark have a significant drop in processing latency, while the throughput of the mainstream document database MongoDB has increased significantly. Deepin technology support Open OLA community and Kunpeng ecology. We cooperate with Huawei not only about technology, but also about quality management, which is very useful for us. Starting from 2018, we kicked off our official cooperation with Huawei. We have experienced many important milestones together. In 2019, we announced the Deepin OS version for Kunpeng server and established the commercially supporting service team. We can now fully support Kunpeng hardware and cloud computing environment. And also, we have commercialized the virtualization and the container technology. We work together with many domestic vendors to test and adapt in different scenarios and actively organize and support many POC projects oriented for finance and the government sector. We are delighted to see that Huawei plus Deepin will unleash a strong power. In many unpredicted scenarios, the performance actually exceed our expectation as well as the expectation of our customers. This left a very deep impression on our customer. We also have finished the migration and certification on the Deepin desktop OS together with Huawei. We believe that the Deepin OS server and terminal products will soon be officially launched and widely utilized. I remember a person from Hubei once said, the road is long and arduous, and I will never stop my pace. If we want to walk long, we need to walk together. We have to work with many. It includes you, me, Huawei, Deepin. It includes everyone. We hope to become the leader of China's innovative ecosystem, and together we can embrace a brighter future. Thank you. I want to thank Mr. Zhang for his wonderful sharing. As we know, the key application of enterprises cannot be possible without database. In the field of database, Huawei has made investment over the past 10 years. Now, in telecommunication, finance, and other core scenarios, our database have been used widely. In May this year, we released GaussDB with two main features. Number one, it is the world's first AI native self-optimization database. With the self-optimization capability of AI native capability, it can improve the performance by 85% compared to DBA. Number two, it is also the global first enterprise-level database based on Kunpeng. It can fully utilize the hyperparallel technology of Kunpeng. And compared with non-Kunpeng system, the TPC edge performance has risen 48%. So it is my great pleasure to announce to you that the standalone machine version of GaussDB OLTP to be open source. The name of this open source is OpenGauss. It covers 70% plus key scenarios of enterprises. We also support our partners to develop database products and applications of their own brand. OpenGauss will be officially launched before 30th of June 2020.
Just now, we open source our database and operating system, but that is not the end. Rather, it is only the starting point. We are going to go further and further intensify our investment into these two fundamental software and the others. We're going to do more R&D in these aspects. We are going to partner with so many of you to co-develop these ecosystems to be even better and richer. As noted before, only by combining AI computing power, Kunpeng computing power, hardware and software can we unleash the potential of the cloud, and the cloud services bring the computing power within our reach. Today, I've brought you here Kunpeng-based and Ascend-based cloud services. Let's watch the video. I would like to announce that 69 Kunpeng-based cloud services and 43 Ascend-based cloud services now officially go live. These cloud services will be able to allow you better experience the computing power brought by Kunpeng and Ascend. Based on the multi-core and high parallel capacity of Kunpeng processors and the dual play of software and hardware, in the cloud-native scenarios, the comprehensive performance can go up by 80%. While processing big data, the processing type can go down by 35%. Based on Ascend, AI cloud server performance can be doubled and more, and be widely used for such scenarios as inference training, autonomous driving. We hope that by full-stack innovation, we can make AI inclusive. Today, I have the delight to announce that for Ascend-based image search and content review, the price shall be down by 70%. So this is the tangible benefits brought by technological progress. We also hope that we can make more of such announcements that amaze the industry. At the same time, Ascend is not only about price, it is also about value. For example, in the services about knowledge graph, we have made use of the multi-source knowledge fusion and boost the efficiency of top-notch experts in the oil and gas field to raise their productivity and efficiency by 70%. And in autonomous driving, our large cluster support PB-level real-time data processing, helping the developers raise their efficiency by 5 times. To know more about the value brought by Huawei Kunpeng cloud services to the customers, please watch the video.
Cocos 是全球领先的游戏引擎厂商，在全球拥有130万的注册开发者，遍及全球200多个国家和地区，覆盖终端玩家设备11亿。游戏行业正迎来云化的变革，云游戏将重塑游戏产业链，为玩家带来极致的游戏体验。游戏将充分利用云端强大的渲染能力，实现即点即玩，无需下载。
目前 Cocos 已经有几十款游戏运行在华为云上，使用华为云鲲鹏云服务后，可实现端云协同，无需指令翻译，性能零损耗。端到端网络优化，时延降低30%到40%，成本降低50%。
未来 ，Cocos 将携手华为云，全面开拓云游戏市场，做云游戏行业的领导者。
刚才这个
In the case study you just saw, we appreciated how Huawei Cloud can be used to help the internet sector. Now I would like to invite DG Pan Feng of Beijing Municipal Bureau of Economy and IT to share his experience and practice in government sector.
Technology to speak on the Kunpeng Joint Innovation Center, New Engine of Digital Economy. 有请北京市经济和信息化局副局长潘峰先生为我们带来鲲鹏联合创新中心数字经济新引擎。
It gives me great pleasure to attend Huawei Connect. For the convocation of this conference, I would like to offer my warmest congratulations. Business leaders, thought leaders, and technical experts. There are so many of the top-notch participants in this room. So I would like to thank Huawei and the Shanghai City for giving us this opportunity to gather in the World Expo venue. I would like to also thank all of you for your long-standing and persistent support and help to the informatization of my city, Beijing. From Summer Olympics to Winter Olympics, as the host city, Beijing has been developing itself into a digital city. What are we going to do for this? The Olympics is about higher, faster, and stronger. And the connection by Huawei also coincides with these aims of Olympics. Since we won the bid to host the Olympic Games, we have been serving the people to make life easier for the people. So we also want to make our services higher, faster, and stronger. From boosting the functionalities of the various authorities online and make the services online more accessible, and we are going to make the city more intelligent, offline and online. This is the biggest heritage of Summer Olympics to Beijing. For example, before 2008, navigation was about from point A to point B. No congestion, because at that time people didn't know of congestion, and nor did the navigation software. But nowadays, everybody is a contributor and a victim of a traffic jam. But now the navigation can provide the route. So in terms of the intelligent services, roadside parking, ETC, and tolling can all be provided with the strong support of computing power. In the Winter Olympics in 2022, can the 5G-based autonomous driving play the leading role? What will the Winter Olympics bring to Beijing and China at large? Kunpeng is here to give you the answer. Thank you. As a pilot of Kunpeng in Beijing, the first government cloud for Kunpeng took some time from decision-making to construction and to launch. It took us only 3 weeks, 21 days. It is about how we go faster from decision-making to application. There are 7 application systems, including the back-end mobile services for common people and the Kindi accounting service. There are altogether 7 application systems that were jointly launched. So we migrated from technologies to Kunpeng as a platform. So it took us only 2 hours to do the changes and do migration. It tells you how easy it is to upgrade and migrate. So we have also deployed more than 2,000 Taishan servers. And we have also used more than 600 Gauss DB. And the big data analysis efficiency is up by 30%. And the fault rate, so far, 0. The interprovincial tolling gates have been all abolished. Among Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei, we have used the Atlas servers to make sure that even if you drive on the highway at a speed of 220 kilometers an hour, the recognition accuracy will be more than 99%. But don't speed. Deploying Kunpeng in Beijing and setting up the Joint Innovation Center have a good reason. First, because of the cultural heritage of Beijing. Beijing has been a capital city for 3,000 years, and it is inclusive and ethical and international. It is committed to openness and innovation. Same for Huawei. Kunpeng of Huawei systems got their names from Chinese classics and legends, and Gauss is a Western name. So people and things are called a name for a reason. So we have a nice name to lay a solid foundation. And in Beijing, there's also a wealth of top experts and talents. Cybersecurity and connections are all supported by the national laboratories. Beijing have more national laboratories than anywhere else in China. There are also leading universities and talent classes, academicians. So Beijing has best research resources. And we also have end-to-end industrial chain, chips by local companies, and the big screen by BOE, and the emergence of a big number of startups like Horizon, Robotics, SenseTimes, Face Plus, Capricorn. Beijing has 35% of the unicorns in China, and also Beijing has 1/3 of the top 100 internet companies in China. According to the ranking of business environment in China, Beijing represents the best in China. According to the World Bank ranking, Beijing is also high on the league. Beijing and Huawei would like to set up the joint innovation center so that the 16,000 IT firms in Beijing and all the use cases of the government can be fully empowered by this center. It is our hope that this center can be a hotbed for Kunpeng to thrive. At this place, I would like to also develop the Winter Olympics sub-center of the capital city and integration of Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei. We are going to open all such possibilities to the center. Beijing chooses Huawei, and Huawei chooses Beijing. Thank you.
八方齐聚。
It is so timely for us to join here, so we are going to make a start from now. Imagine a vision. We stand in Beijing. Look north. We are going to see the red leaves on the fragrance hill. You know, they are coming in the coming October. Looking west, we are going to see the merging point of 5 rivers and the ancient tower marking this landscape. And that is where the sub-center of Beijing is. There are so many headquarters of large companies and promising high-tech firms. When we pull our strengths, we are going to achieve good deeds. Thank you. I would like to meet you all in Beijing, and I would like to also wish the Huawei Connect a complete success.
Sharing your insights into computing innovation and digital economy. 感谢潘峰先生对计算产业创新与数字经济的解读。Next, please welcome Mr. Hou Jinlong to continue sharing the best practices of the Kunpeng computing industry. 下面让我们欢迎侯金龙先生继续分享鲲鹏计算产业的实践。
Thank you, Mr. Pan. He represented the height from Beijing. Kunpeng would surely make a successful journey because it starts from Beijing. Just now, we listened to the cases sharing from our customers and partners of how they engaged with Kunpeng and Ascend. Huawei, as always, is always the first user of the parachutes we make. In our R&D, internal IT, products and solution, Huawei Cloud, Consumer Cloud, we have used the products related to Kunpeng and Ascend. They have been deployed in more than 100,000 units. This year, we will further improve the computing power of Huawei Cloud and translate that computing power to Kunpeng computing power. For Kunpeng and Ascend, we have many more cases. I would like you to watch the video so as to know about these cases.
Go explore.
with computing power never before seen. Infuse intelligence into massive data to spot gene defects. Turn the cloud into a new platform for quantum computing. Go advance. Boost data access at the frontiers of smart manufacturing. Scan every inch of an airplane to make sure each flight arrives safely. Compute mountains of data for precise weather forecast. Go innovate. Make toll collection intelligent for free-flow highways. Make real-time inspection a reality for power grids. Go believe. Boost the city traffic brain for smoother lanes. Build real-time analytics into transportation so deliveries arrive on time. Go discover. Render futuristic views on the cloud at speeds previously unimagined. Unleash new levels of horsepower for autonomous driving. Go envision. Decipher pathology scans to fine-tune cancer screening. Generate disaster pre-warnings underground to safeguard miners. Watch over our Earth by tracking geological and hydrological changes. Go protect. Digitally preserve relics of our civilization for generations to come. Monitor the rainforest and its inhabitants for Mother Nature to flourish. Restore ecosystems and give the desert back its trees with intelligent robots. Go. Unlock possibilities.
Thank you. In order to make sure that Kunpeng and Ascend can provide better service, we need a healthy, robust industrial ecosystem. So we're going to make efforts in the following 4 areas. Number 1, we are going to aggregate applications for industries. We will build a complete industrial ecosystem and competitive solutions with our partners in different sectors. Secondly, we will integrate industries in regions. We focus on processor and components development, but Kunpeng industry is shared across industry. We welcome our partners in different regions to develop your local versions of Kunpeng industry. As a proverb says, a single flower does not make spring, while 100 flowers in full blossom bring spring to the garden. We hope we can build a forest rather than a single tree. Number 3, we will incubate standards with alliance. We will work together with Green Computing Consortium, Edge Computing Consortium, and other alliances and organizations to formulate software and hardware standard system for the healthy development of the entire industry and supply chain. Number 4, we hope to empower developers through community building. We believe that developers represent the soul of the industry. In the next 5 years, we will work together with communities and universities to jointly cultivate 5 million developers so that they can be the endless lifeblood to the industry of computing. To better support ecosystem development, in the next 5 years, Huawei will invest $1.5 billion to develop ecosystem. The detailed plan will be announced tomorrow morning, so please refer to our agenda of tomorrow morning for more detailed information. We can see that the development of computing industry is supported by the joint efforts of our partners in the industry. To better support Kunpeng computing industry, we work together with ARM China, Green Computing Consortium, and other friends and partners to jointly launch white paper on Kunpeng computing industry development. Now I would like to invite Mr. Alan Wu from ARM China and Madam Jiu Guo from Green Computing Consortium to stand up in the stage. Welcome. I would like to invite you to share with us your thoughts on computing industry. Mr. Wu, please. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. It is my great honor to be invited here to attend the launching ceremony of white paper on Kunpeng computing industry development. Every one of us may use 3 to 4G equipment, including your smartphone, to the box on the top of the TV and your automobile. So the open innovation system built by ARM has become the biggest computing platform and ecosystem in the world. In the next wave of science and technology revolution, we will see that 5G technology and computing power will enable the massive amount of data to transmit, and AI technology will translate data into productivity, bring changes to every walks of life and our lifestyle. We, together with Huawei, as early as 10 years ago, started in our innovation journey. We apply ARM technology to the cloud. 10 years later, we are happy to see that Kunpeng is now in full blossom. In the next round of technological revolution, we hope to be rooted in local innovation and endeavor for global cooperation. The white paper illustrates our joint vision between ARM China and Huawei, as well as the technological structure and open ecosystem connecting cloud, edge, and device. This will become the biggest driving force for the next round of technological revolution. We hope to go together with the industry and prosper together. I hope Kunpeng industry can have a successful future. All the best to you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ho and Alan Wu. This is my third time to stand on the stage with Mr. Ho to jointly promote the ecosystem of Kunpeng computing industry. A warm congratulations to Mr. Ho once again. Intelligent development is the biggest driving force for the computing demand. Computing has now entered into a golden age. This means a brand new opportunity and challenges for the industry. Digital transformation in different industries means the demand will be more diversified. In addition to general purpose processors, there are different other specific utilization processes, GCU, and different tailor-made chips. This has also further driven the diversification of computing industry. Green Computing Consortium aggregates the strong resources of the industrial chain. We use the open technology of ARM as a platform, and we build a neutral, open, international industry consortium. We hope that we can work together with our partners to contribute to the green computing industry. Huawei is the board member of Green Computing Consortium. Huawei is always in the leading position of this industry, making tremendous contribution to this industry. We're happy to see that Kunpeng Ecology has pulled the strengths and resources from different sectors, providing more choices to the partners in the ecosystem. We are hoping to work together with Huawei, with Kunpeng, so that we can all make our due contribution to a healthy, prosperous green computing industry in the world. Thank you. May I invite Mr. Ma Haixu? Mr. Zhao Xinhua from CESI, Kitty Fogg from IDC, Han Wei, General Manager of Cloud Service Industry Department from Taiji, Mr. Zhang Li, CTO of Deepin Technology, Chao Yong, Deputy General Manager of Standard Software, Mr. Li Xiangkai, Deputy Manager of CEIC Puhua, He Qingfa, Chairman of Shentong Data Database, Zheng Xiaojun, CTO of Haigo, Zheng Xiangjing from Kingdi, Gao Longlin, General Manager of Info BUS, Li Lijun, CEO of Tongtech, Zhang Xiaojie, Assistant to President from BONC, Yang Jiayu from Transwarp, Chen Yunpeng, VP from Kingsoft Cloud, Li Jian, VP from SCU Tech, Niu Yanxun, VP from ASO, Liu Wei, Sales Director from Info2, Gao Wei, VP from Chinasoft International, Xu Yang, Senior Vice President from Yongyou, Li Jing, CEO from EastTech, Jiang Zhiqiang, VP from WPS Office, Hu Yan, General Manager from Supermax Software, Liu Huian, Vice General Manager from PSAT. Please come up to the stage. Thank you all.